My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC picks and DraftKings lineups run by professional fighters and MMA insiders. Every week, I join Nick Newell, professional fighter, professional model, and ESPN top 10 guest, along with Dan Kramer, UFC fighter, Bellator fighter, Ultimate Fighter alumni, and Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. And we break down every single fight, the betting odds, the DraftKings picks, and we set you up for success. Next up at UFC Fight Night, Edwards versus Muhammad, we have Charles Jourdain versus Marcelo Rojo. Another sort of lopsided fight on paper in DraftKings, as far as in the 9,000s, in the 7,000s at the price point. So it's an interesting fight. Marcelo Rojo is coming up in weight, but he is very big. But he does gas too. So that'll be an interesting matchup for sure. I'll go to you again, Dan. What are your thoughts here? Who do you think wins? Do you like these DraftKings values?
Well, you know what? The DraftKings values just came out. So at first glance, I think it is a little too wide. Makes it look like Rojo is a pretty good value here, but we'll see how how the budget breaks out. But kind of breaking down the fight on these two guys, Charles Jourdain, he's younger. I think he's 25 years old, Canadian fighter. He's only won one out of his last four. His last fight was a draw to Josh Culibao. He was a 5-1 favorite in that fight. He also lost a split decision to Andre Fili, who's really tough. He beat Do Hoo Choi, lost to Desmond Green. So he's fought good guys. He's looked all right in some fights. He beat some good guys. He lost to some guys that, he had a draw against a guy that he was supposed to beat pretty easily. So he's a little all over the place, which is scary from a betting stance. The last fight against Culibao, he desperately wanted to throw crazy flying knees. Every chance he got, he tried to throw a flying knee. I don't think any of them really came close. He got taken down off of them. He made a mistake in the first round with his hands down. He got dropped, but he survived well. Later on in the fight, Jourdain, was defending the takedowns a little bit better. Started really turning up the pace and realizing all right, I'm losing this fight to a guy I should kill, and started really putting it on him. So it ended up being a split draw, but you kind of saw flashes of brilliance and also a guy who's kind of just hasn't found himself yet as a fighter. But you can certainly tell he's skilled and athletic. He just kind of needs to be more aggressive and really kind of come out of his shell. That was kind of the read I got on him. As far as his opponent goes, Rojo's, he's an Argentinian guy, UFC debut. He was supposed to fight Raoni Barcelos on short notice, so definitely shows he's game, because that's a tough fight to take for anybody, especially on short notice. So I think he ended up getting a few extra weeks to now take this fight. He won 3 of his last fight. I think almost all of his fights were in Cambache, however you pronounce it, Cambache. But he hasn't fought since September 2019. He did win by a first-round knockout, but that's a long time to have been off. So, from what I saw on the tape from back then, he looks like a pretty good striker, good kicks and punches. He switches stances, really likes that lead left hook, has some power. He's got a lot of first-round finishes, but again, it's a different level of competition I think he's been fighting. So I think while he's a very good striker, I think most guys who make it to the UFC are solid enough strikers. So I think overall it's a tough fight to call. Too many unknowns. Jourdain has the experience, but he's been hit or miss, like I kind of mentioned earlier. And Rojo in his UFC debut hasn't fought in a year and a half, and he's fighting up a weight class too on fairly short notice. So my pick is Jourdain as the more experienced, kind of bigger guy. Could be a slugfest of a fight, but I don't think I'm going to touch it for DraftKings at this point, unless I really need to go and get someone more expensive. And I only have $7,100 to spend on Rojo, because I think they could end up banging it out a little bit. But, overall, I think Jourdain is the better fighter.
Yeah, it's definitely. I agree. It's closer than the odds have it. I think Marcelo. I think Charles Jourdain wins. I think for Marcelo to win, he just has to make it ugly and sort of come forward and put Jourdain in a position where he either has to weather the storm or he's going to lose. Jourdain has a real tough chin. And the way I see it is I feel like Jourdain's been fighting better competition. So this is almost a step down in his level of opponent, where Marcelo Rojo is the opposite. He's been fighting, at his level, and now this is sort of a step up. So I think this favors Jourdain. I think he will win this fight and sort of get back, on the right track. But those DraftKings costs are crazy. $9,100 for I think he'll win. I think he'll get on the track is not worth it. And the odds are they're a little farther apart than they should be, but I don't think the odds are that crazy. But I think Jourdain wins. I think he's a little better everywhere, and it's just a matter of weathering that initial Marcelo Rojo storm. So, Nick, I'll let you go. I don't know what your thoughts are here, and if you like that DraftKings cost or not.
Well, you guys basically summed it up and said everything that I was going to say. The one thing, so Rojo's been fighting not the same level of competition as Charles Jourdain. Charles Jourdain fought Des Green, who's a fantastic wrestler, all-American wrestler, and got out-wrestled. He got out-wrestled by Andre Fili and had him in a lot of trouble. He knocked out the Korean Superboy, who was doing really well for a while and had a lot of hype behind him, even coming off losses. But he fights too much to the level of his opponent. So he fights. It's going to be like a close fight no matter what. And he underperforms and he overperforms and he's too inconsistent. So for me, if I didn't have like a lot of money, I would throw Rojo in my lineup. And if I was counting on some other people to score me some big points, I'm not there right now. But I also am not going to take that gamble on Jourdain because I do feel like he fights the level of his opponents. I do think he'll win, but I have other picks that I'm more confident in.
Yep. No, that's fair. So
that was the best call. That was the best way to put it, Nick. He fights to the level of his opponents. He fights guys that he's supposed to kill, and it's a close fight where he gets a draw. And then guys who are really good, he fights them in split decisions and pulls out wins sometimes. So, yeah, that was a great way to put it.
So, Jacob, you touching either one of these guys for your DraftKings lineup?
Yeah, I just want to take it a serious note for a minute because I think sometimes we lose sight that these are real people and these people have feelings. And before I get into this, I just want to apologize to the friends, the family, the relationships of Charles Jourdain, because, buddy, you're on the wrong side of the lock of the week. I'll tell you that. Marcelo Rojo, lock of the week, and one of the most bold lock of the weeks we've ever seen. 9,100 versus 7,100. Charles Jourdain. I tried to find highlights on this guy. I can't find it. There's no highlights on this guy. He has film and he has a highlight tape, but when he fights, he just shells up. He'll just shell up and just take shots. And when he comes at you, he eats shots. He has a chin. He is tough, but he is 0-4 in the UFC. I don't care what he says. That fight against Doo Ho Choi, he was getting destroyed in that first round. Got dropped a couple of times, looked like crap. And then he has the split decision draw, which can be a lot. So 0-4. Rojo, what you guys missed, his biggest training partner the last few years, Brandon Moreno. I think we know that name. He's been preparing Brandon Moreno for all his fights coming up in the last few years. So you talk about he hasn't had top-level competition. He's training against the top-level competition in camp every single day. So, I fell in love with this dude watching him fight. He's a tough dude. He has 7 losses. All losses are submission losses. Charles Jourdain is not going to submit this guy. So he's going to have no issues. He has all these first-round knockouts. I think, let me check right here. It's like first-round knockout, first-round knockout, first-round knockout, first-round submission, first-round knockout, first-round knockout, first-round knockout. I tried to tell you guys.
We're going to do your math thing again?
I tried to tell you guys every single week, lock of the week. This is my boldest one. And originally I wasn't real confident in it. But then I started watching stuff. I heard the Brandon Moreno stuff. His nickname's the Pitbull. He's going to get this done, man.
Oh, the Pitbull. Man, no one else ever had that nickname before.
Wow. I gotta give you credit, Jacob. I was like, man, he's got, he's really riding this lock of the week thing. I was like, this week he's probably gonna pick a heavy favorite to keep it going.
Yeah.
And no, that's
I thought the lock of the week had to be an underdog.
It doesn't have to be, but it will be for sure.
It has been consistently.
And this is the biggest one of all. And I'll tell you this right now. I already put a money bet on him to win.
wow. You probably 215 right there just to win money line. Yeah, I mean,
the odds are going to move now. The line's going to move, guys. It's too late.
I'm just happy I didn't put Jourdain in my lineup.
I know. Now I'm scared. I mean, now I might have to put Rojo in there for the 7,100 just to be on the right side of luck.
This one's old, the week. Angelo.
Anybody, if you haven't seen these before, Jacob loves his theatrics, and he has been determining a lock of the week. And as much as I hate it, the last 4 weeks he nailed it. So this one will be interesting. If he nails this one too, I can't.
He also counts it if the fight's canceled due to COVID. He just counts that as a win. So there's his logo. Yeah.
It drives Angelo insane, and Dan and I think it's funny. It makes it even funnier how mad it makes you, Angelo. You can't mess with the lock of the week. I'm still picking Jourdain.
If Rojo wins this week, there's no way I'll be back next week. That's all
Jacob's off the show.
He's gonna have his own show. He's gonna start his own show if he gets another lock of the week.
I'm taking 2 weeks off. I mean, actually, you know what? I'm rooting for the lock of the week this week. I might put him in my lineup. I might have to now.
I'm not a hater.
One thing I will say, watching some of his fights in Kambachi, I don't know if you guys watched any of the tape on him, but 2 fights ago, he fought John Castaneda, a.k.a. Sexy Mexi. The whole thing is just pure Spanish, and it's just like, Sexy Mexi, Sexy Mexi, the entire fight. It was so fun to watch. And
the thing that sold me on Rojo on like a legit thing was there was one fight where he got absolutely dropped, folded, immediately grabbed a leg, and found a way to turn the fight around in the next 45 seconds and just knock the dude out with the knee. Just in like a 45-second switch. I'm like, dude, this guy is tough. And Charles Jourdain is I just don't see anything. So
settle down, Jacob. You're getting carried away here with your lock.
I know these people have feelings. Sorry, Charles.
Jacob's going to show up at a UFC one of these times when they start having fans and he's going to get beat up by 4 fighters in the same day.
I watched an interview with Charles Jourdain, and I felt bad afterwards because I already had in my mind picked that it was going to be lock of the week. And then I watched him. He's such a nice dude. I was like, oh, he has no idea what's coming, man. Oh, yeah.
Don't go back on it now.
No, I'm not.
If someone's fighting the lock of the week, you got to talk trash.
Well, we'll see what happens. If Jacob wins this lock of the week again, then I'm going to have to stop hating a little bit. But for now,
Jacob's going to be narrating next week. He's going to be the moderator. Angela, he'll call on you when it's your turn next week.
So for now, it's 3-1. 3 of us going Charles Jourdain. The one with no MMA experience, no MMA accolades, no MMA insight or connections is going with Marcelo Rojo for his lock of the week. So stay tuned and we'll see what happens. Before you go, check out the description below. In there, we have links to our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, and more importantly, to our DraftKings League. Check out the league, join the league, participate in the contests, and as we get going and as you start winning, we're going to start handing out gift cards and participating and doing things like that. So check those out. Every week, there are drops on every fight card. So make sure you check out this channel and our social media on Saturday before the fights start so that you have our most updated lineups and picks.